Imagine waking up every single morning to a flood of notifications telling you that you've earned money while you were sleeping. Yes, I'm talking about creating a source of income that works for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Well, guess what? I've cracked that code and I'm going to share it with you right now. In today's episode, I'm going to share with you the secrets of making a semi-passive income through blogging and affiliate marketing. I'll show you the proven strategies and expert insights to give you the courage to not give up and transform your online business starting today. So keep watching because I have something very special for you at the end. All right, so the number 3 thing that you need to do to be absolutely sure that you do not give up in this affiliate marketing and SEO game is you need to become an SEO nerd. And when I say nerd, I don't mean like, the guy with the weird glasses and the little, tape in between it. I mean an actual book nerd when it comes to SEO. When I first got started with this stuff, I literally fell in love with it. I fell in love with digital marketing. I fell in love with just the whole SEO game as an industry. And I just started binging on all the content that I can. Now we are 8 years later in this SEO game, and I'm still the same way. I'm still listening to podcasts. I'm still listening to YouTube videos. I'm still doing my own tests, trying to figure out what's working with SEO and what isn't. You have to keep these kinds of things in mind because SEO is always changing. It's rarely, if ever, going to stay the same for very long. There's different principles that are going to remain the same, which we'll talk about later in the video. But outside of those principles, the tools that we use, the strategies that we use, the tactics that we use are going to be continuously changing, and we need to stay up to date as to what's going on almost at all times. For me, the best way to learn a lot of the new stuff is not just by listening to what's working online with other podcasts and everything, but it's also doing the things yourself and then also investing in courses that are going to be very helpful for you. One of my favorite courses that I have been completely engulfed in the last few months will have to be Topical Maps Unlocked by Yao Yao. It is an amazing course. I'll be sure to leave a link down in the description so that you can check out my review over on blogrevolution.com. But it is an amazing course that's going to show you exactly how to topically cover pretty much anything on the internet and start getting some fast results and traffic to your site. But that's just one example of becoming an SEO nerd and continuing to invest in yourself, invest in your knowledge. I would say probably, in an entire week, I'm probably going to spend, half of that week working on stuff, working on YouTube videos, working on SEO and articles and all of that stuff. I'm going to probably use the other half of that week just to learn new stuff. You have to stay on top of things as much as possible. The first rule of SEO is that there is no rules, all right? So when it comes to testing, you have to put stuff out there and just see what happens. One of the best ways to get a blog going is just to get some articles out there and then start collecting data, collecting information, specifically from the Google Search Console, figuring out what Google likes about you, and then leaning into it, doubling down on the content that you are seeing that is working, and then moving forward from there so that you can jump on some more trending topics in that space and get massive traffic to your website. Another underrated part of SEO is to overcome challenges. With anything that you try in this world, especially when it comes to trying to running your own SEO business or you're running a website or whatever, there's going to be times where things break and stop working. And the majority of people are going to stop. The majority of people are going to give up. They're not going to continue working on this thing. But you will, because that is what's going to separate you from everybody else. I like to call it like the prove it period of when it comes to SEO. For example, Google will seemingly test you, right? They're going to test your patience as much as possible, and you're just going to have to sit there and take it. But once Google finally finishes taking everything from you, they're going to give you something in the form of massive traffic to your website, but only if you don't give up. I usually always say your website probably failed not because SEO didn't work for you, it's because you gave up on it too soon. So you have to remain motivated, you have to stay ahead of the competition, you have to do what you can to make sure that you keep moving forward and not giving up, knowing that there is an end goal with massive traffic and massive income and revenue to your site. In fact, when I have felt very down and wanted to give up on the whole blogging and affiliate marketing game, one thing that was really helpful for me was having a tight-knit community of people who were doing the same thing. And in many instances people who are a lot further along than I was, so that I can see what they're doing. I can see what problems and situations they are having. So then when I met my own problems and situations, I was able to endure them, ask for help, and get some real help from full-time bloggers, which is why I actually did create my community, oneblogaway.co. I'll be sure to put a link down in the description. There's a free 20-minute video that will tell you all of the problems that I ran into. You'll probably be able to relate with a few of them. Plus, I have a free course if you go check it out right now. That's oneblogaway.co. I'll be sure to put a link down in the description. The number 2 thing that you need to be able to survive this SEO affiliate game is you need to set realistic expectations. So let me tell you a quick story, all right? About a month ago, I received an email from Amazon saying that they were cutting the affiliate commissions on a ton of different products on Amazon, one of which was for beauty and cosmetics and all of those kinds of things. It went from a commission I was paying 10% to paying, you guessed it, 0%. And man, my heart started going like bump. I don't have any, beauty sites or anything, but I know a lot of people that do. And all of a sudden the money, the 10% that they were making were going down to 0. So what I ended up doing is I went on my Twitter over at Niche Site Chris. I went on my Facebook. I went on some other kind of masterminds that I'm in, and I just started saying, it happened again. Amazon's changed all of their rates, and it's, I told you, stop depending on Amazon, yada, yada, yada. And, I felt good because I was first. I had just gotten an email. I was like, I'm going to get in front of this. I'm going to give me some traction on some of these places. And the rate did change, don't get me wrong, but then I looked at it a little bit closer and I realized that it was just for Amazon in Australia. So I felt kind of bad because I had literally spammed it everywhere saying, hey, Amazon's cutting rates, kind of causing a little bit of a stir, and I did apologize for that, but it still did happen, and I still told people that, even though that was the case, it's just happening in Australia. Now, there is no, that could just be a precursor, right? That could just be something that's happening in Australia that's eventually might make itself over here to the Western world. But regardless, I did kind of jump the gun on that. But let me tell you the whole point of what was wrong. Fast and wrong is still wrong. Okay. Now, before we get back to the podcast, are you a website owner looking to make more money with your website? Well, look no further than Ezoic. Using machine learning, Ezoic creates personalized ad experiences for every visitor on your website, increasing the revenue while also balancing the user experience. I use Ezoic on my sites, and I think you should as well. And with Ezoic ads, publishers can connect with money-making popular ad networks and exchanges, completely streamlining the process for getting ads onto your site quickly and with little intervention on your part. Plus, with AI optimization and mediation, bloggers and publishers make more money and keep people on their sites longer, which is good for your website's SEO. So unlock the true earning potential of your website by enrolling your site with Ezoic ads. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned publisher, start your free trial over at ezoic.com. That's EZOIC.com. Now, let's get back to the episode. But regardless, YouTube online, you look at your timeline, you're probably being bombarded with people giving you information about how you can make $1,000 a day overnight just by using SEO, or that you can get this keyword ranking on Google in less than 5 minutes, or a whole bunch of this stuff, right? It's just there for clickbait. Then when you actually watch the video, you see that there's a little nuance or caveat, or that the person didn't actually do it, or something like that. So the whole idea is, instead of setting yourself up thinking that you can get this overnight success, you need to understand that it's going to take time to build up something that's going to be worth it, especially in the future. You can't really try anything for just 3 months and then expect some type of results from it. You can't try it for 1 month or, 30 days or whatever you want to look at it. You have to do things for an extended period of time if you actually want to see some good, actionable, and relevant results. When it comes to blogging, I definitely recommend that you set realistic goals for doing this for at least 4 months and then moving on from there, making a decision if this is something that you actually like and would like to continue to do. Now, realistically, 4 months still probably isn't the best amount of time. One thing that I like to tell the students within oneblogaway.co is when you are first getting started, I want you to put in your mind that you are going to create at least 50 to 100 pieces of content and putting it on your blog as fast as possible. If it takes you a year to do that, if it takes you 6 months to do that, it doesn't matter. But get that much content out there just so that you can see the process. You can learn the processes. You can learn exactly how Google is going to be reacting. And that's actually a very good sample size that you can throw out to Google and see if this is something that you want to continue doing. You start getting some affiliate commissions, you start getting some massive traffic, and you start realizing that, wow, this is something that I can do to bring in some passive income. You have to do that. You can't just say, I'm going to try this for, a week. Oh, this doesn't work. And then just give up and call all this stuff a scam. It's not a scam. You just need to stick to it. But be careful of all of these sensational headlines that are out there on YouTube and podcasts and everywhere that's telling you that you can do this stuff very, very quickly, because you can't. The reality is, if you do this right, don't quit your job tomorrow. All right. Start building this on the side, giving it some good, actionable effort. And if you put some good effort into this for at least 6 months to a year, you're going to be able to have a website that's worth probably twice what you make in a year and be able to sell it online and then just take that money and then repeat the process over and over and over again, which is what my business model is and what I definitely enjoy doing when it comes to blogging and affiliate marketing. The number one thing that you need to do, absolutely, if you would like to not give up on this affiliate marketing and SEO game, is to turn this into a game. Not surprisingly, some of the biggest minds in the SEO industry, people like Matt Diggity and Kyle Roof, these guys are gamers. They play a lot of games, probably growing up. I don't know how much time they have to play these games nowadays, but I was actually the exact same way. I was a gamer growing up. I was a Madden gamer. I used to play, football, on the game of Madden, American football for the record, for people who are not in the United States. But regardless, that was what I did. I played a lot of it. I remember in my college days, I would come home from a class, maybe have an hour or two in between before my next class, and I'd play a couple of rounds of Madden online against some people, and I just had that competitive spirit because I always wanted to win. I didn't always win, unfortunately, but that was one of the things I always was kind of addicted to for a long time. My mom used to be worried about me, because what kind of a life could you really get from just playing video games? But when you really think about it, that is really what set apart the competitive nature, not just in me, but in a lot of these SEOs, because that's what we're doing. We're constantly competing online, trying to see what's already ranking and what we can do to beat them. I remember used to be when I would play a lot of these games, I would have the whole mindset of, okay, they didn't beat me, I lost. And I know that sounds like the same thing, but the whole idea there was that they didn't do anything interesting or weird to really beaten me. It's just that I didn't do something and I needed to do more in order to beat them. And the next time I would try again and try again and try again until I was able to beat them. And we're not talking about just, playing the computer. We're talking about playing actual real people online who actually know what they're doing as well. So that competitiveness is what we need to apply, not just from games, but to search engine optimization. We're talking about competing with backlinks, competing with content, competing with on-page, off-page imagery, videos, all of this stuff, figuring out what's there and how we can beat it. Once you realize that SEO is just a game, you realize that money itself is just a game. Be okay with playing that game and parting with some of that money sometimes to be able to create more money for yourself. Money is nothing but an asset, and it does nothing but buy freedom. But you need to do things to continuously grow that so that you can, have the freedom of being able to do what you want. Money buys you time, and that's what it is that you're trying to really take advantage of. But you have to continue moving forward with it and not giving up too soon. One of the best ways that I found to be able to do this is to set goals for myself. Goals of not just, this is what I would like. I want to have a blog that's worth $100,000 or, something like that. I mean, setting actual tangible goals. Set daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually. Just set these goals and sit down and say, this is what I would like to have done in a month. This is what I'd like to have done in a year. And then shoot for those goals. When you're working for yourself, when you're trying to build up your own business, you don't have a manager that's breathing down your neck, telling you what needs to be done and when it needs to be done. So you need to be your own manager. You need to create these goals and then hold yourself to them. And if you don't reach those goals, it's not a big deal. You just analyze what happened, why didn't you reach the goals, and then try your best to recreate it next time. Now, when it comes to those goals, the best goals that you can always set is goals that you can control. And in most instances, instead of just being about money, you need to create goals about creating content. And one of the best ways, at least nowadays, to be able to create content is to use AI or artificial intelligence. But there is a specific way that you need to do it. And here's the surprise. I want you to go check out a video right there that shows you the strategy that I'm going to be using when it comes to AI and affiliate marketing and SEO.